I was having a conversation yesterday with a client, and he suggested that I record this and post it. As a matter of fact, he insisted that I do so. He actually recorded it himself during the phone call, and I told him that I would. The reality is, now, first, let me say that the reality for everyone is different. However, there is a universal reality in terms of the effects being consistent across the board, where the outcome will indefinitely be the same for everyone. Pertaining to this particular topic I am about to discuss, the reality is, sadly, and this includes me, sadly, we are all walking contradictions. And on a conscious level, we are unaware of that fact. We are unaware of the fact that we are walking contradictions, that we are hypocrites in the sense that we can't even recognize and realize that we are hypocrites. And a lot of that programming and a lot of that conditioning is cultivated within one's soil, the soil of their mind, during their earlier developmental stages, where we're told to love unconditionally. Now, that was never, um, what's the proper term? Articulated with boundaries. Unconditional means no conditions whatsoever, means that there are no boundaries to you loving someone. And then we are told to love others as we love ourselves, which means that no matter what this individual has done, is doing, continue to love them the way that we love ourselves, or the way that we want to be loved. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Treat others the way you want them to treat you, although they may not be treating you that way. If you know how the mind works, and the inner conflict and confusion of just simply those three things I mentioned. Now, there's a whole lot of other ones that we can go into, but we don't have that much time. Or I don't have that much time. But I have put it in a form for you to be able to read through yourself, so you can see both sides of the coin, and how being able to see both sides of the coin and analyze both sides of the coin, in a sense of seeing the coin from on each side from different perspectives, you'll be able to see the versatility, as well as see it in its true dynamic or form, the different layers of it. The person I was speaking to yesterday was faced with a friend with whom they were, I have to charge this, a friend that had showed up for them almost 40 years ago during one of the most challenging times of their life. However, over the years, the friend has used that as bait to manipulate that individual into doing or providing for them whatever it is that they were requesting, guilt tripping, um, using guilt to manipulate the person's reaction or response to whatever their request is. And they asked me, they said, well, how do you just stop caring? How do you stop being loyal? I'm a loyal person. And how do you just walk away from something like that? Because this friend also will go to the extremes of, you know, using, I don't want to use the improper term in my video, not get sued, that they were going to just give up, if you know what I mean. They were going to engage in giving up. And I explained to them, okay, you said that you're loyal, right? And you said, how do you just stop loving a person? Well, let me ask you this. Do you love yourself? What does loving yourself look like? Treat people the way you want to be treated. How do you want to be treated by others? The way that you are treating them, right? Are you being treated that way? If the way that we treat ourselves, the way that we love ourselves, the way that we show up for ourselves, the way that we respect ourselves, if those were reflections of the love that we have for God, if we are reflections of God, if those were reflections of how much we love God, would you allowing a person to hurt, harm, disrespect, are you betraying yourself by allowing a person to hurt, harm, and disrespect you? Does that reflect you loving God? Because those things that have high value to you, let's say an antique, when something is an antique and it has high value, what do you do with it? You take it and you put it in a place where it's protected, where it's safe, where is not accessible to everyone, or where it's not accessible to anyone at all. You put it in a place where it's not accessible, and then what do? You add an extra layer of protection, where you may put it inside of a case, or you may put it inside of plastic to prevent it from getting touched, reached by the elements, dust or things, water, whatever, things of that nature. Like, you plan for the potential things that can potentially harm it. Okay, so that's an extra layer of protection. And then you go even further and you put it into a safe where it's locked up to add an extra layer of protection because of how much value it has to you. However, when it comes to yourself, you see where I'm going with this? Are you protecting yourself at this level? Are you protecting the God in you, not just the God, but the Guide in you at that high level, that you would protect something that has high value to you because you're looking at the future value increasing and the what you'll reap from that particular thing, but you don't see yourself as having that much value to be protected from disrespect, betrayal, and abuse.